when she.
We'll be ready in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's usually a little delay between pressing the button and actually being on the internet.
All right, we're ready.
All right, good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, 6 p.m. Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. This is an 8-panel member board appointed by the City of South Fulton Mayor and Council to hold public hearings to make recommendations on rezonings, use permits, and concurrent variances, applications, comprehensive land use plan, maps, and amendments to the zoning resolution. Citizens may speak for or against a zoning issue, and each side will have up to 10 minutes total to present a case. Tonight's virtual meeting, citizens may enter their comments and questions in the YouTube chat or email, planning@cityofsouthfulton.gov. The Planning Commission's recommendations will be forwarded to the city's mayor and council for the final decisions on the fourth Tuesday of next month. We will proceed to the items on the agenda. Staff, can you call the roll?
Yes. Commissioner Alvin Reynolds,
Present.
Commissioner Janine Brown,
Present.
Commissioner Rodney Hadley,
Present.
Commissioner Reverend Shannon Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Janai Walters,
Present.
Commissioner Rachel Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Shatika Floyd,
Present.
Commissioner Tamika Weatherly.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. As we move forward on the, hopefully all the commissioners had a chance to review the minutes. And if so, we will entertain a motion to approve the minutes for last month's meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So second, Janai Walters.
Been properly moved and second. Any discussions? Hearing none. Staff, can you call for the vote?
Yes, this will be a roll call vote. Commissioner Reynolds,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes. Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Was not in attendance at the December meeting.
Okay. The vote is 6 and then 1 abstain.
All right. Agenda item number 4, old business. Staff, would you call the first public hearing petition, please?
Good evening, everyone. This is Nathan Lombardo. I'm the Planning and Zoning Administrator for the City of South Fulton. As stated, any comments that you have tonight, please email to the planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov email address, and that's just planning@cityofsouthfultonga.gov, or we'll read comments from the YouTube chat. And I see a typo on the slide, which I accept full responsibility for, but we'll read it anyway. It's Z20005, the rezoning request at 0 Buffington Road. We can go to the next slide, please. The petitioner in this case has asked for a deferral to the February Planning Commission meeting. I would ask for a motion to defer from a member of the board, please.
Is there a motion to approve the deferral?
So moved.
Is there a second?
So second, Janai Walters. Sorry.
Probably moved and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's take a vote.
Commissioner Brown?
Did you say Janine Brown?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
The vote passes.
All right, staff, continue with item agenda B, please.
Should we go to the next slide? This is case Z20-007. I'll read through these and the next case, CB20-002, together because these two cases go together. We can go to the next slide, please. Rezoning request for 0 Butner Road. In this case, the petitioner is asked to rezone from R3A to CUP. They are wanting to develop a 59-home residential subdivision. It is in the Cliftondale overlay. The site plan here complies with all stagger, and the homes will comply with all material requirements. Staff recommendation in this case is for approval. We can go to the next slide, please. See on the left, right where the cursor is in the middle of the screen is an undeveloped area at the intersection of the roads and right on Butner, and that is the site for this parcel. You can see on the right, there's a little bit of a stagger there in our GIS mapping, but the blue outlined parcel in the middle of that map is the parcel in question, and it is zoned all R3A. You can see how that dark orange zoning would line up with the outline of that parcel. We can go to the next slide, please. This is a site plan that has been proposed. You'll see access off Butner Road with a decel lane. If you go to the very top of this parcel, you will see there is emergency vehicle access from the adjoining subdivision with the Knox box in place. I will ask any questions that I have when it's comment time. I do have some comments that have come in over email. You'll see here that this parcel here, or this plat here, is for 59 homes. They have taken the creek bed into consideration in their platting here, and do have green space and a fire pit seating area for the amenity package, as well as a mail kiosk. We'll go right to the next slide, please. These are some sample images that the petitioner has submitted as examples of what the homes could be in this subdivision. There will be variances in the material based on the customer's choice. This is the end of the section for Z20-007. I will ask you that we go to the next slide for the concurrent variance, and you can just move right through the first slide. You can just go to the next one. The concurrent variance here is asking for the permission to build a retaining wall in the buffer area. Due to the topography of the site, some of the slopes are such that the retaining wall is necessary. There would be no active activity in this buffer area. It's just the construction of the wall, and that will be left as green space. This has been reviewed by the city engineering, and there is no objection to it. I will say that normally these are not the kind of things that would be really allowed. However, in this case, without these retaining walls here, the site is essentially undevelopable. And so in order for there to be the development on this property, we do need to have this retaining wall there. So the staff recommendation is for approval. We can go to the next slide, please. And it is the same site plan as before. You will see in the middle of the screen, there is the stream buffer there. There is a black line, a jagged black line behind the homes at the top of the screen. That is one retaining wall. And on the other side of that wall, there's a much shorter black line towards the right of the development. That is a second retaining wall. Those are what will be built in this area. That concludes the staff presentation. And I will say that the petitioners in this case submitted a PowerPoint that they would like to show the board members during their comment time.
All right, okay. I would ask that we make a motion to open public comment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
So second, Janelle Walters.
Been properly moved and second. Public comment is now open. Can we hear from the petitioner at this time?
Good evening. This is Michelle Battle with Battle Law, representing the applicant. Pulte Group is the builder on this project. If we can go to the next slide. Pulte is a nationwide builder, and hopefully you all are extremely familiar with them and their product. They've been in the development building for well over 50 years. If we can go to the next slide. As already indicated, this property is adjacent to the commercial live work area, and the property is zone R3A, as indicated by staff. Next slide, please. As we are looking, we have the latest site plan, and I apologize if you can keep going through. We won't have to worry about the site plan. Um, you can keep moving. I apologize. I didn't update my presentation on that front. The main thing that we wanted to go over, you can keep moving through, Um, we are looking at the transactions with regards to this project. And let me give you a little background. This property actually was rezoned back in 2000. It was rezoned along with the Legend Oaks community for 104 single family homes. The Legend Oaks community has been built out, but this second phase was not built out. And Pulte actually acquired this property and has been working on the last few years trying to get this property redeveloped. They originally approached the Legend Oaks community with a different site plan a couple of years ago to try and address the issues that they were having with the site. They realized, however, that the density simply did not work based on the price points that were desirable in the area. And so they came back with a updated site plan that originally showed 62 lots. We are now down to 59 lots as shown in the site plan that you received. And when looking at the modifications, we believe that this is a much better project than what was originally contemplated for this property. We are providing ample green space within the buffer areas and along the center of the property. We have a nice amenity area that will be provided to the community. But additionally, there has been discussion about the exact footprints, homes in terms of the floor plans, which we have discussed with the Legend Oaks community. Additionally, we've looked at some house sides styles and agreed to actually do a 3-sided brick product. Staff did not show you the proposed conditions, but there are proposed conditions for this project. We are in support of those proposed conditions, and maybe they can post those as well and show those to you. But one of the things we do want to make clear is that we will be providing along the perimeter, particularly along the eastern boundary line adjacent to one of the homeowners that has frontage on Butner Road. We will be providing a 8-foot fence along that within the interior of the 50-foot buffer along that side that will connect in and circle around on the other part, the northern part of the property, that will allow for the fencing along that side as well, except in the area where the safety vehicles would have to be able to come in and out. We anticipate that the house prices, and you can go to the next slide, that the house prices will start really in kind of that $350,000 range and up. These are some of the other homes that are in the neighborhood that have sold, and looking at the price per square foot. We can keep going through the presentation, and I apologize, it's an older presentation, and that is my fault. If we can keep going. And if we can look at the Briar Creek elevations, you'll see here that the minimum square footages that we're looking at are roughly about 2,800, whereas the current zoning allows for a minimum house size of 1,800 square feet. We anticipate that with the 4-sided brick added, that these price points will be well into the mid and high 300s, going into the 400,000s. Keep going, if you wouldn't mind. And we can keep rolling through those visuals and keep going. Okay. I don't know if we would be able to put up the elevations, but we certainly, not the elevations, but the conditions. I wasn't sure if staff was going to put those up.
Michelle, let me add, the conditions were in the packets sent to the planning commission members, so they do have those.
Okay, great. So those conditions, I don't know if they'll be posted so that the community on the YouTube can see them, but there were, I believe, 10 or 12 conditions that have been proposed. We are very supportive of those. They ensure that a quality development will be had, and that we wanted to add to that the fence requirement along the northern eastern side of the property at 8 feet high. that fence would be in the interior of the 50-foot setback. With that, we would respectfully request a recommendation of approval to City Council. However, I will say that we have been in communication with the Legend Oaks community. I believe that there are still some issues that we need to work out with them. And so based on that, I believe that we will need to defer this matter for another 30 days to give us a chance to finish those. But when you're looking at the conditions, you can see here that they include the 50-foot undisturbed buffer, no more than one exit or entrance on Butner Road. No lot shall have direct access from Butner Road. There'll be 2-car garages. The exterior facades will be a minimum of 3 sides brick, with the rear facade being hardy plank, brick, stone, or stucco. There will be no use of vinyl except in architectural trim and soffits. All undisturbed buffer areas will be owned and maintained by the HOA. If you can continue scrolling up, I know I'm running out of time here. Keep going. The subdivision sign will be a monument sign located on Butner Road, and it'll be landscaped and maintained by the HOA. We also agreed to, again, to restrict the floor plans to the 4 plans set forth in Exhibit B, which we did provide to staff, and they can show you those on their time if you can keep scrolling up. You can keep going. Those are the floor plans that are designated in Exhibit B. We will be offering upgrades for structural options and upgrades for including sunrooms and sitting rooms for additional square footage to be built on the homes. And those will be offered to the community. Very importantly, the decel lane and the left turn lane shall be required in the subdivision, subject to the transportation engineer for the City of South Fulton's approval. However, that decel lane shall be located on the subject property and shall not encroach upon the adjacent property, which was extremely important to the adjacent property owner. And then again, we would like to add the fence requirement, which will be an 8-foot high fence along the northern and eastern perimeter adjacent to Legend Oaks and adjacent to the property owner on the east side. And that 8-foot fence will be within the interior of the 50-foot setback on that side. So with that, again, we would respectfully request a recommendation of approval, but we certainly will not oppose the deferral in order to allow us opportunity to continue to address the issues with the adjacent community. Thank you.
Okay, staff, I have to ask the question. Are we asking for a deferral here, or what are we asking for?
If you want to just do a deferral now, we could just do that. Otherwise, we have the public comments to, I have 2 comments against, and since we said the ones that were for, I better read the 2 that I have against, and if any other have come in, we can do that. But if we're going to ask for a deferral, we can do that after those comments are read into the record.
All right, so I guess we could read the comments for anyone that is opposed to this development.
Do we need to close that and open up anew for the 10 minutes for against?
Yes. And don't we still have to read all public comments?
Yeah, but the 10 minutes for comments for anyone in favor is up.
Then we should we could move right into comments for those that are against. That was open up, public comment was open up in general.
All right. The first one I have against is from Harold Reed, and I will try to read quickly. I object to the above reference rezoning request as submitted for the following reasons. Number 1, the land use plan for this area's design is designated as suburban residential, 1 to 2 units per acre. This proposal increases that density by nearly 50% and would destroy the established character for this neighborhood. The developer is claiming that because part of the development falls within the quarter-mile radius of the commercial district of the Butner-Stonewall Town intersection, that allows greater density to be extended to this development. However, only 4 of the proposed 62 homes, or 6.5% of the homes, fall within this radius. There is an ordinance that says that when development crosses over from a higher density area to a lower density area, the higher density area may be extended to the entire project. This ordinance does not say shall be extended, meaning the body reviewing the product may decide to not extend the higher density. I contend 6.5% in a higher density area does not justify extending that higher density to 93.5% in the lower density area. Number 2, the land use plan is all that we have as a master plan for our city. By choosing to overrule the land use plan in this instance, we set the precedent to overrule the land use plan in all parts of the city. This is all we have protecting us from development mayhem all over the city. Directly across Butner Road from this project is a development tract of over 160 plus acres that does not fall within the commercial radius, but if 3 units per acre are allowed here, it will be requested there. And we will be hard pressed to deny it because of the precedent we set here. Number 3, this development would be totally out of character with existing development in the neighborhood. To the west is Legend Oaks, where the minimum lot size is 18,000 square feet and the minimum home size is 3,200 square feet. To the north, the next 3 homes are all on 1+ acre lots, with the smallest home being 3,500 square feet. The proposed development has 10 lots of 7,000 square feet, with the largest home proposed being 2,900 square feet. Approving the development as proposed instantly stuts appreciation of the surrounding homes. In an earlier meeting with the developer, it was suggested if they wanted this level of density, we would require a larger home product, minimum 4,000 square feet, with no response. For these reasons, I would request that you reject this petition and respect the land use plan for this area. The second comment I have for this case, good evening, commissioners. My name is Anna Maria Hazard. I'm attorney at Coleman Talley LLP, and I represent Deanna Respress, who resides at 6075 Butner Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30349. The property directly adjacent to the subject property. My client, along with other adjacent property owners, has some concerns about the rezoning. First, while we appreciate the increased information in the notice that was published in the daily report, the city failed to mail an updated notice with a new meeting date to my client who lives next door to the subject property. I will check that out myself. Second, the proposed rezoning does not meet the density recommendations of the comprehensive development plan, nor the desire of the neighborhood. The current land use of the subject property is rural neighborhood. Compatible land uses for the rural neighborhood character area is 1 to 2 units per acre. The proposed rezoning will allow over 2 houses per acre. Page 30 of the comprehensive development plan states that the rural neighborhood character area is meant to preserve the primarily rural residential character of South Fulton. Even though Butner Road is a minor arterial road, the infrastructure is not currently in place to support the increased density that the proposed rezoning will bring. Page 101 of the development plan states that to ensure the most desirable and efficient use of land and preserved residential character, land use density should be regulated in a manner that would prevent overloading of public facilities. Overall transportation goals should be factored into land use decisions, and increased density in this area would be detrimental to the stated transportation goals and put a strain on the system. Conformance with the plan and its stated goals shows that the rezoning was rational, reasonable, and consistent with the city's plan for future development. This proposed rezoning does not follow the stated goals of the development plan. Approving this rezoning would be arbitrary and not done in accordance with the development plan, against the public interest, and a violation of my client's substantive due process rights afforded under the United States and Georgia constitutions. We respectfully ask that you deny the proposed rezoning and allow the property to remain R3A and retain its low density designations in accordance with the development plan. And those are the 2 comments that I have.
I did have a comment that was different from Mr. Reed that
Okay.
he sent into the planning. So this is Hal E. Reed on Cole Lane. I object to the above referenced rezoning request as submitted for the following additional reasons. The new proposal being considered does reduce the number of homes from 62 to 59. This still represents a 2.2 home per acre, which exceeds the land use plan for the area. The land use plan is all that we have in the way of master plan for our city development. By granting this proposal as submitted, you will set the precedence that this plan has little to no worth and it will be challenged. Please follow the regulation as written and reject this proposal. Number 2, I still have not seen a detailed representation of this proposal. I was left out of the notification process for meetings to discuss any changes, and this was after I provided the petitioner's legal counsel with my contact info when I was requested for anyone who wanted to remain updated on the project. That concludes his statement.
Okay, I have a bunch more comments from the YouTube chat. So it says Legend Oaks would like to request a deferral of this matter. Legend Oaks, we are seeking to ratify documents related to our agreement with the Pulte Group. S. Dowdy says this should not be approved Atlanta real estate lady says, I am opposed to this project. A better use of land in this area would be to build more homes or office buildings, providing medical services. Residents in Sable Glen, Sable Chase are opposed. S. Dowdy says, I agree, in response to Atlanta real estate lady. Silver Lining Villages says, I agree with the Atlanta real estate lady. Atlanta real estate lady also said, I'm opposed to this development. What is the construction cost per unit? What is the retail price? These homes are adding to the further saturation of homes under $400,000 in this area. S. Dowdy says, I agree, at Atlanta real estate lady. Silver Lining Villages says, I don't feel we need homes in that price range in that area. Atlanta real estate lady says this project would best be built elsewhere. Legend Oaks says representatives from Legend Oaks and the Pulte Group have agreed to defer this matter. Bartho Group says definitely opposed to this for the same reasons above. S. Dowdy says we will drastically lose equity in our homes. Atlanta real estate lady says the appreciation of value rate in South Fulton is now -9% as opposed to North Fulton, where the appreciation of value rate is plus 14%. This is due to the imbalance of price points in new construction. Phyllis Reed says, good evening. Someone else was having problems connecting and missed the first 10 minutes of this meeting. Harold Reed says only 10.2% of the proposed homes fall within the live work perimeter area. Pamela Freeman said, Atlanta real estate lady, I agree totally. Harold Reed says the city of South Fulton is not required to make up for any inflation pressures that have occurred over time. Silver Living Villages says, please define the ample green space. S. Dowdy says we need an updated presentation. Silver Lining Villages says -9% appreciation rate is unacceptable. Kay Johnson says unacceptable indeed. Atlanta real estate lady says this project also impacts Walden Park, Les Jardins, the gates of Stone Lake, Wolf Creek Country Club, Wolf Creek at Cannon Ridge. These subdivisions have homes with original prices of more than $350,000. 2013 Aurora says, I am opposed to this development. There is no diversity of price point being represented. You are stunting the growth of property values by continuing to build homes in the same price range. Silver Lining Villages says, and why, if it is important for us to be informed, are we getting a presentation that is older and not representative of what is being proposed now? 2013 Aurora says, please vote in the interest of the city and the residents. S. Dowdy says, I agree with 2013 Aurora. Atlanta real estate lady says, what is needed is a price point higher than the original price of existing homes sold between 2000 and 2008. Legend Oaks says, please defer as suggested by Councilor Battle per Legend Oaks. Tanisha A says, agree, Atlanta real estate lady. Where am I? Atlanta real estate lady says, why doesn't Pulte build the John Whelan brand in this area? Where does Pulte build the John Whelan brand? Trina Wright says, I oppose this development. Silver Lining Villages says, this is an important question considering Whelan brand. Legend Oaks says, please defer per Legend Oaks. Silver Lining Villages says, I oppose this development as well. Legend Oaks says yes. Atlanta real estate lady says, I agree wholeheartedly with 2013 Aurora. Batho Group says, why allow development that will negatively impact the surrounding property values? We need more high-end retail grocery stores with healthy food options.
Okay, time has expired.
In this area. S. Dowdy says, I oppose this development. 2013 Aurora says, I oppose this development.
Marissa?
Time's up, Marissa.
Okay.
All right, is there any questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, I do have a question. I guess this will be for staff. I think staff, does this development lined up with the land use plan?
Let me check my report that I sent you, but I believe CUP is allowed in that area.
Okay, and while you're checking on that, another question came into mind with the buffer, the retaining walls. I was wondering if that wall went up. I mean, how close is that to the back of the property line? In other words, if I walk out on my deck, am I looking over the wall, or how many feet between the wall and the deck?
So I don't know the exact distance because that's going to vary by building, but you can see the porches are off the back of those houses. And so you're at least 25 feet from all of the backs of those houses to the wall. There would be a drop then after the wall, but you would have more property on the other side of that as well.
What are the chances of, is that wetland behind the retaining wall, or just?
It's buffer.
Okay,
So there's a stream, but there's buffer. It's not wetlands there. And the CUP is a compatible zoning with the future land use map.
it is compatible with the future?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Were there any questions from the board at this time? All right, staff, there were two things that were mentioned: to defer or to vote to approve. I am not sure which is what the petitioner is asking for.
I believe the petitioner is asking for a deferral on these two cases. So we would need 2 votes if you agree to defer.
Okay. All right, we'll open up a motion to accept the deferral.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Can we close public comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, staff. A motion to close public comment.
So moved.
So
There-
second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Can we get a vote? Roll call vote, please.
Yes. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
The vote passes.
That ends public comment, and I guess we'll open up for another vote to accept the petitioner's deferral. Board,
I vote
This-
to the petitioner's deferral for CV 20002 on Butner Road. This Shatika Floyd.
This would be
Second.
Z20007 and CV20002.
Okay.
Do we need 2 separate votes, or is it 1 vote for both?
Let's do 2 separate ones, please.
So I second Commissioner Floyd's vote for CV 20-002. I'm sorry, her motion.
all right,
Okay, I'll proceed with a roll call vote. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
all right, so we're entertaining a motion to accept the deferral for Z20-007. Board,
So moved.
second,
Janai Walters, so
Second.
second.
properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Staff, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes, I proceed with the roll call vote. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, staff. Can we move forward with the next item on the agenda? That will be C, public hearing, Z20-008.
All right, next case is Z20-008, a rezoning at 7195 Butner, 0 West Stubbs, and 3315 West Stubbs. Next slide, please. This is I'm tongue-tied, excuse me. Proposed rezoning from AG1 to CUP for a residential subdivision. This case, along with 09, covers multiple parcels of property. It combines and rezones 3 parcels into 2. Staff recommendation in this case is for approval, and this is for the CUP single-family part of this development. We can go to the next slide, please. On the map on the left, you will see in the center of your screen a partially graded and wooded parcel of property. That sort of triangular pieces are the 3 in question right in the center of the screen. On the right, you'll see a rectangular-ish shaped parcel outlined in blue. And to the right of that parcel, there are 2 square-like parcels. Those are the 3 parcels in question in this case. We can go to the next slide, please. This is the subdivision proposal, and it is oriented horizontally to fit on the screen and be as big as possible. But if it was laid over the parcels on the previous slides, it would be oriented vertically. The diagonal street on the right is Butner, and the street that comes in the upper left corner of these map here is West Stubbs. So you will see the entrances off Butner and West Stubbs, amenity area in the middle. There is a connection in the center upper part of this proposal here, and that goes into the senior housing proposal that is going to be proposed concurrently with this development. We can go to the next slide, please. These are just some examples of some of the home types that could be possible in this subdivision. Like any other, there would be options for the purchasers and upgrades of different materials available as well. That is the end of the staff presentation for this case, and there is a presentation that the petitioner submitted during their public hearing time.
Hi, this is Commissioner Walters. Are we
Commissioner
waiting?
Yeah, Commissioner, oh, there we go.
There we go. Okay.
Could we get a motion to open up the public hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we lose the chairman? Out.
I'm sorry about
Commissioner
that. There was
Reynolds,
a motion to open public comment.
Motion to Janai
So
Walters.
moved.
So moved. Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
So moved. In fact, probably moved and second. Public comment is now open. Is there the petitioners here online?
Can I do a roll call vote?
We can't get a roll call vote.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
Passes.
All right, we can hear from the petitioner at this time.
Good evening, Michelle Battle again with Battle Law, 1 West Court Square, Decatur, Georgia. This project is being proposed by Proterra Development. We can go to the next slide. Proterra is a family-owned business that originated in Brazil over 25 years ago. They specialize in residential and commercial construction. They've had projects including Avondale Hills Development, Avondale Park, and the Enclave in Lanier. Both Avondale Hills and Avondale Park are in DeKalb County. Avondale Hills is one example of quality construction and neighborhood planning that really has been very transformational in the neighborhood in which the property was located. We can go to the next slide, please. As previously indicated by staff, the property is currently zoned AG1. with a proposal to rezone to CUP. You'll notice that there's CUP property off to the left, and there's R3 property off to the right. This property is abutted by both West Stubbs and Butner Road. We can go to the next slide. As proposed, we are looking at 173 lots with lot sizes between 5,500 to 7,500 square feet, with house sizes between 2,400 to roughly 3,000 square feet. Price points would be, starting price points would be in the 300,000s and up. We would have the required stagger with front yards at 20 feet, side yards proposed at 10 feet, therefore 20 feet between the homes, rear yards at it says 10 feet there. I believe actually that's 20 feet, but nonetheless. The community will have its own clubhouse, pool house, tennis courts, outdoor activity area, a walking trail. There will also be the 50-foot buffer around the property to provide for the planting of native materials along with the existing materials that would be there. This property had previously been sought for development under the existing zoning. Unfortunately, that project was not able to continue for reasons that are not clear, other than presumably some of the geographical challenges with the site, along with the density, did not hold for the project to move forward. We believe that this project is suitable. Butner Road is actually a minor thoroughfare. West Stubbs is a collector street. We did do a traffic study, which we provided to staff. We do know that the city already has approved a roundabout that will be located at the intersection of West Stubbs and Butner Road at $1.7 million that has already been approved on this site. And so we are in the belief that this road is sufficient, the roads are sufficient for the additional traffic that will be added as a result of this project. We will have walking trails throughout this project, as well as interior sidewalks, and which all lead along to the amenity areas that will be a part of the project as well. We can go to the next slide. When we look at the price points in the area, at a price per square foot, and this has been a lot of discussion about what the values are, at a price per square foot on the homes that are already in the community, we're looking at an average of about $93.63 per square foot. These numbers were gotten off of public sources, including Zillow, with regards to the price per square foot and the sales prices in the last year. What we are proposing are homes that will have a sales price and price per square foot of $125 at the highest point, and 110, all higher than the existing price per square foot on the homes already located within this community. So we're not doing anything to devalue the properties within the area. We're simply providing additional options with regards to homeowners that are not necessarily interested in extremely large or larger lot sizes, but simply want a larger home, but don't want the headache of some of the maintenance and upkeep of having larger yards. We can go to the next slide. As indicated, we have a variety of different home styles with different textures that will be proposed on the homes, including hardy plank, brick, board and batten, and other fiber cementatious siding. There are proposed conditions which staff has with regards to the project, and we are supportive of those proposed conditions as well. And the rest are just continued slides of the elevations. You can just roll through those. We would respectfully request a recommendation of approval on this project. We have had several meetings with the community. We know that this product is something that will bring a slightly different kind of configuration to the site, but we do believe that it is an appropriate use of the property, particularly when we look at the next project that is adjacent to it. From a density perspective, we are at 2.9 units per acre. And with that, we again respectfully request a recommendation of approval. Thank you.
All right, staff, is the 10 minutes exceeded for those that are in favor of this development?
The clock still has 4 minutes.
Is there anyone, is there any comments out there for in favor?
Not that I see in the YouTube chat.
I don't have any more.
Neither do I.
Okay. We can move forward. There are any comments for those that are against?
I do have one from the planning email address. It'll be from Howard Reed on Cole Lane. I continue to object to the above reference rezoning request for the following reason. It continues to violate the city's land use plan for the area.
This is Nathan. I have two comments. One is I think Harold Reed's previously submitted one. I object to the above reference rezoning request for the following reasons. The rezoning request as submitted far exceeds the land use plan for this area. The land use map for this area shows suburban residential 1 to 2 units per acre. As presented, this proposal is for 2.9 units per acre. Surrounding subdivisions are Walden Park 1.9, Amherst 1.8, Kingsland 1.8, Camden Manor 1.9 per acre. These subdivisions range in age from Walden Park 20 years, Amherst 17, Kingsland today, Camden Manor today. This is not a quote-unquote infill development. It can be planned and constructed however we choose. Current rules, the land use plan, says it should be 1 to 2 units per acre. This land use plan is on file with the state of Georgia and should not be violated to satisfy a developer's desire for greater profits per square foot. And it can be profitable at 1 to 2 units per acre. I have one other comment that was emailed in, and it's very long, so I will try to do the best I can here. From Jasmine Webster, and I believe this was submitted previous to a lot of changes in this, and some of the comments are related to the next case with the letters all together. So I'll read it all, and some of the comments maybe have not relevant to changes that happened, but I'll put into the record. Good afternoon. Hope you are all well. I'm writing on behalf of my community, Camden Manor, to express our opposition to the rezoning and proposed development located at Butner and West Stubbs. This property is directly across the street from us, and we will be impacted by any development that happens there. On December 7th, 2020, residents of Camden Manor participated in a virtual meeting with Proterra and Councilwoman Gilliard. The builder's attorney, Michelle Battle, presented a PowerPoint that outlined the proposal. The community and the Councilwoman Gilliard asked many questions that were either not directly answered or sidelined. Residents of Camden Manor also participated in the council meeting that took place on December 8th, 2020. We were again concerned at the lack of concrete information and the timeline of this proposal. The following is a list of our concerns. Number 1, every community in West Stubbs, Butner area are single-family homes. Proterra proposes to build 171 single-family homes and 104 senior living multifamily units. The presentation featured a hodgepodge of multifamily units that did not match the aesthetic of the single-family offering nor the other surrounding communities. The price point for the multifamily units start in the high 100s with square footage as low as 700 square feet. This will directly impact our property values. The vast majority of the homes in the area start in the high 200s. There are 2 other communities that feature single-family homes currently being built on Demooney and Campbellton Fairborn Road. These communities will start in the high 200s, low 300 range. We're concerned that the multifamily units will not be a popular offering and will sit empty, prompting price reductions and further devaluation of the surrounding communities. Number 2, there is currently a plan for a roundabout to manage the increase in traffic in that area. This will not be enough to manage the density that is being planned. Number 3, Proterra's timeline is vague and long. In the meeting on December 8th, 2020, Attorney Battle stated it would take 18 months to prepare the land and at least 6 additional months for permitting. She stated we would not see actual building at a minimum 2 to 3 years, and the community would not be complete for at least 3 to 5. The timeline is very suspicious to us. Attorney Battle expressed confidence in these multifamily units selling, but admits that this is the first offering this kind by Proterra. Attorney Battle stated at our meeting that she had researched that she could present in support of the proposal, but neglected to present at the meeting on 12/7 or 12/8. We feel that this area is being used as a testing ground for a model that has not been proven successful. We are concerned that Proterra will push the rezoning and change their plan midstream. I will say, this is Nathan talking, that the multifamily has been removed from the senior housing, which you will see the next case. I wanted to state that for the record. Proterra is purportedly filling a need for senior housing in the South Fulton area, but has neglected to realize there are no amenities to support a senior community. There is no access to MARTA on West Stubbs Butner. The nearest shopping center, Camp Creek Marketplace, is 15 minutes away. There is no walkability in the area for seniors. The nearest hospital is 25 minutes away. The response time for SFPD is already an issue due to staffing. How will the senior community be impacted by these challenges? Number 5, Proterra is proposing a senior community among single-family homes. Statistically, the highest demographic to purchase single-family homes are people with children. Is a senior community amongst a single-family community with children desirable for seniors? The pandemic has altered how children attend school, but it will not always be this way. Has Proterra thought about how seniors will be impacted by children gathering at bus stops every morning and every afternoon 9 months out of every year? Number 6, Proterra cannot guarantee that the senior homes will in fact be utilized only by seniors. They presented no plan to enforce the seniors designation. This is concerning because Proterra seemingly has not done any research on their target demographic. A great deal of African-American households are multi-generational. This fact makes it a real possibility that the senior living homes will end up staying empty because the target demographic does not meet the senior living criteria, or the senior living restriction will not be able to be properly enforced and will give way to more density by way of multiple residents at the senior living homes. Number 7, the racial component of this issue cannot be ignored. Proterra is trialing this model in a predominantly African-American suburb. A development like this threatens the property value of the surrounding communities and does not offer comparable amenities and living experience that other senior living communities do that would even be considered in Sandy Springs, John Creek, Smyrna, or any predominantly white suburb. Why are they offering our seniors a subpar living experience while also threatening the property values of African-American homeowners in the area? We love our community and want to see it grow in a healthy and equitable way. We want our senior citizens to have a community that is on par with others in the metro Atlanta area that offers access to transportation, shopping, access to senior activities, access to hospitals, and the relaxation and ease of living they have earned. We want to maintain our property values and see our community thrive. We do not believe the rezoning request and the subsequent proposal for the Proterra development is the right choice to meet any of these goals. We ask you vote against the measure to rezone the land of Butner West Steps from AG1 to CUP and subsequently deny the proposal for the Proterra development in its current form. We ask you require any developer that seeks to build in this area to work within the current zoning and provide a development product that meets those standards. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, the residents of Camden Manor. And that's the end of the comments that I have.
Are there any other comments?
Yeah, before the time is up, Chinedu Uzochi says opposed Z 2028. Shalise Dowdy says opposed Z 28. 2013 Aurora says we strongly oppose the proposal Z 28. Beverly Ward says oppose Z 28. Kay Johnson says I strongly oppose Z 28. Amar Miller says we oppose Z 28. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says I am opposed to this project. The project will cause the devaluing of existing home values. Penny Voices says Penny Curtis. 28 Z28 Camden Manor resident opposed this development. Trina Wright says I oppose this development. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says how is this project different from the company's Avondale Estates development? Kay Johnson says lost my place. Kay Johnson says opposed. This proposal will directly impact the value of existing homes like our community of Camden Manor. Chinedu Uzochi says this proposal also affects home values from 15 to 17 years ago. The commentator said possible. I'm not sure what that says. The project proposal is no different from the first one. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, what is the construction cost per unit? What is the retail price per unit? Bernadette Mapp opposed this development. 2013 Aurora says it is different because they are not introducing the multifamily component in that area. Penn and Lockhart says I strongly oppose. 2013 Aurora says they are using this area as a test market. Penny Voices says strongly oppose this development. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says what is the price point in Avondale and Lanier? Silver Living Villages Z28 says were those photos of the two-story houses for seniors? Is this all there is? I'm opposed. Seems incongruent with needs of the community. Robert and Tanya Anderson said, I support the residents who live near this proposed development and oppose this development in the location. It would be located closer to retail and it should be located closer to retail and public transportation stops. As Stouty says, too small. The price too low. Someone has not done their homework. I vehemently oppose this project. Patrick Ewing says, I'm a resident in this area and opposed to this rezoning to higher density. The proposed change is inconsistent with the goals of existing stakeholders in the area and damage property value. Kay Johnson says, the photo being shown don't seem to represent the proposed housing, seems disingenuous and misleading. Penny Voices says, Penny Curtis, this will decrease the value of our homes in Camden Manor. Shalise Dowdy agrees with Patrick Ewing. Rhonda Ellis Fant says, Wanda and Tim Fant oppose the development. We are Camden Manor residents. Chinedu Azochi says, opposed homes at this price point given does not complement the homes of the same price point 15 to 17 years ago. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, again, the area is oversaturated with homes priced in 300,000. Original prices of many original homes built in 2000, 2008 was twice that amount.
And that will conclude the 10-minute time limit. At this time, is there any questions from the board?
I'm not on the board, Chair, but may I add a point of clarification?
Please.
Yes.
Okay, so there are two rezonings. There's Z20008, which is for the CUP, and Z20009, which is for the SH. They kind of go together because they're being rezoned at the same time. They're owned by the same group and are being submitted by the same petitioner, but they're two separate rezonings.
So with that being said, we will have to vote on them separately.
Yes,
That's correct.
sir.
Okay. Once again, is there any questions from the board?
Yes, this is Janine Brown. So we've heard multiple times that this is a violation of the land use, but I know that the staff approved this as something that would fit in our community. I just want to verify if that is true or not by the staff.
Yeah, this goes to the issue that we had discussed previously on the differences of CUP rezonings and how they can vary and have different densities based on how they are proposed at that time for that area, for that individual project. So CUP is allowed as a future land use designation, and that would just be up to the discussion at that time to determine what CUP meant in that specific case. So, like you said, that's a comment that we hear pretty much every case with subdivisions and CUP zonings, but CUPs are allowed to be determined at the time of the proposal.
And if I may, I might be out of line here, but if I may add additional clarification, the future land use plan says that this is rural neighborhood, I think, and this is supposed to be maximum 2 units per acre. And I believe this rezoning is proposing 2.9 units per acre. And so I think that's what they mean by it's not in congruence with the future land use plan. The CUP zoning allows people to determine the development standards and setbacks and lot sizes and things like that, but the land use plan kind of overlays that additionally.
Thank you, Nathan and Marissa. And then I had another, and I also want to thank the community and the attorney battle for, I think you've been working on this for over 3 months, just coming to the board through deferral. So I do appreciate that, the continued working with the city council and the community. And I do like the fact that we've come to a place where we're looking at single family residence and possibly changing the definition of senior and lowering that number. I think one of the things that I'd like for us to just constantly remember is that all of our communities do not have to look the same. I think one of the reasons I chose the community that I live in District 2 was specifically because it gave me an opportunity as a young buyer 20 years ago to move into a home that one was economical for me at the time. And I know the prices have changed and increased significantly over 20 years. They've done a significant dip at one point, and then they've come back up to where we are today. And I think the thing that I liked most was that there was variety, right? I could live in a subdivision where price points at that time were below 200, but still in a significant size, quality craftsmanship, and also live with neighbors who lived in homes that were much bigger than mine at a higher price point, up to $300,000 to $400,000. So I think we have to remember that, and I think this gives us an opportunity to have options so people who want to downsize but still live in this area have a place to go. I don't have to move to Johns Creek or to another part of Fulton County in order to stay in this community and move into a home that would be smaller, less yard, if that's what I choose to do, or any of our residents choose to do, or if I want a family member like a mother or a parent to move into a home that was nice craftsmanship, but not so much yard responsibility. So that's my comment and my question. And I yield my time back to the rest of the board.
Chairman, this is Janai Walters. I just have a quick question back to Ms. Battle, and I'd like to hear her response to the community. There were a lot of comments about how is this proposed development here for the city of South Fulton and that change in zoning, and how does it compare to the main property that was presented in the beginning by Pulte Group with the Avondale Avenue in DeKalb, that development. Does that development also have a senior component to it? And how does that, how similar is it in terms of design, layout, in terms of how that community interacts in terms of services and walkability and things of that nature that are really important for senior living?
Commissioner Walters, I don't think this is a Pulte property. I think you mentioned Pulte. This is not the Pulte property.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the other developer. I'm sorry. That's right. What is it? I had my P's mixed up there. What's the name of this developer?
This one is Proterra.
Proterra. Thank you, Proterra. That's what I meant.
So, I think I understand your question.
Mhm.
Proterra is a developer that really, in my opinion, has pushed the envelope in at least the Avondale, Kensington, MARTA station area with a project that they did that was extremely transformational. I've mentioned that project only because that was a project that was one of the first projects that they have done in the metropolitan Atlanta area. That was proved to be extremely successful, even though as I told them, I was extremely skeptical that project would ever get off the ground. And that particular project has an integration of townhomes with single family detached homes, with multifamily homes, and then a grocery store at the front. But it's also across from a MARTA station. So it makes it a little different in terms of walkability and things of that nature because of its presence next to the MARTA station. But that doesn't make the project any less transformational for the area in which it was developed. This particular project, we believe, also has that potential as well. We want to introduce a product that is, yes, slightly different than what has been proposed in the area, surrounding area. We believe that homeowners these days are looking for more house, less yard, and that the current development kind of style that has been in this community has been, yes, a larger lot type development. And again, we are not trying to diminish anyone's values. We believe that our price per square foot is in excess of what the price per square foot is on the homes in the surrounding area. That is a focus solely on the CUP. I would like to do our presentation on the SH portion. I think that there is a tremendous opportunity for active adult housing in this community. There is a deficit on senior housing in this community, and we've got some information to support that. And we believe that this project would be, in terms of the SH portion in particular, would be transformative as well, because of the lack of a diversity of senior housing. Most of the senior housing that has come to the city of South Fulton has been in the form of affordable apartments. That is not what this project is. And our price points, I argue, are very comparable to what is already in the area, again, in terms of the price per square foot of the homes that are being offered, and what is being offered to those that would be 55 and older. The CUP is not age restricted. So it really gives an opportunity for individuals who may move into the area that has a parent that may want to live in the senior component, to live there while they live comfortably in their home with their families. And so we believe that there's interplay between the two communities, but they are technically two separate products.
Thank you for the clarification.
Was there
I
anything
know
else?
over on not too far from this area on Fairburn Road and closer to Cascade Road, there are some subdivisions and rezoning that happened that reduce senior to age 55, because I have a friend that lives over there, and it has worked really well for that community. So I think that's something else for us to consider.
Mr. Chair, this is Commissioner Jones.
You have the floor, sir.
I just want to go back to Commissioner Brown's point, and I'm wholeheartedly in agreement with her that not every community needs to be the same. And I would just like to ditto that, yes, we must think about the seniors, but also we need to think about the young families that we are trying to attract to the community as well, young professionals and singles, or I would say the next generation of Commissioner Browns that came in 20 years ago and that are still living and serving and working in their community. So we need to think about that. I certainly understand property value, but I think that's something that our city needs to think about as we move forward. That's the end of my comments.
I have a comment as well. I don't believe that this is I definitely agree that we should have different housing opportunities and different designs. That's necessary in the community. And I think we have that in South Fulton to an extent. You know, we have different districts that are different just by their design. I think this particular project, we have an overwhelming opposition in the community that is against it. And I do think we have the responsibility to, yes, make sure that the city is developed properly, and also make sure that our residents' interests are also maintained. And I think this potentially compromises that as it pertains to property value and equity and things of that nature. So I would like to caution everybody to really think about what we're doing, because it has an opportunity to feed on whatever decision we make now. It could potentially affect other developments, other projects, not just this one. That's all I have.
And this Commissioner Walters, one last comment.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say that I agree with Commissioner Hadley in his comments, and we need to find a balance where developers are willing and find the economic value to work within the land use requirements and as they've been identified for the community now and long in the future, which will help us to be consistent and not open ourselves up to potential, setting precedences that we can't come back from later.
So are we saying that this is doing that? That when it sounds like to me the staff says that this is within the land use.
It is within the land use for CUP versus the R3, which would be, two properties per acre versus.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I want to chime in here for a second and say that we look at a lot of development coming into our city, and when we develop these properties, these parcels, it's like we're developing, you know, smaller units or more house, less land. That's kind of going against what's already in the area and what's around us. I mean, why aren't we looking at developing what's there? And I understand that we need that balance, and we should be looking for areas or looking for land to create that balance and not just developing partials within the areas that that don't accommodate the type of development that is already there. That's why I hear a lot of concerns from the community. If my house is worth $400,000 and then you bringing in a development around 200 or lesser than that, you know, just for the sake of we need some balance, that's going to be an issue. And I continually hear that the land use plan is an issue, you know, and we have to really start looking at this because too often this comes up. We have to really dive into what is the land use plan. If we're going to follow it, let's follow it. If we're not going to follow it, are there amendments to it? You know, what are we doing? So
Well,
we definitely have to be careful, you know, with what we're doing here.
yeah, this is that's a good point. Let me add, you know, we, from a staff perspective, I would be incredibly hard pressed to ever bring something to the planning commission, city council, anything that was against the land use plan, unless it was just something really egregious or obvious, which is just not something that happens often. So we do not take there's not a liberal mindset in terms of the cases that come to the boards for public consumption that are against the land use plan, and we take that plan seriously. I will also add that as part of a comprehensive plan update that we're doing this year, which is in process now, the future land use map will be examined. So, you know, we do hear those comments that the land use map is not being taken in consideration. I would respectfully disagree with that, since, I mean, honestly, I'm the one who makes a lot of these recommendations to the boards, and I do take that responsibility very seriously. But I also acknowledge that that map and that plan will be examined over the next 8 or 9 months, and updated to reflect the current viewpoints and desires of the citizens of the city.
So again, what we're doing here is we're looking at the future land use plan, but we are omitting the land use plan that we're currently under. Is that correct?
Omitting the land use plan, I would say no, we're not omitting the land use plan.
Well, I mean, not omit, but are we following the land use plan that is in place right now?
Yes, the answer is yes.
And I'm sorry, Commissioner
No,
Reynolds.
go on.
I also, I want to thank Commissioner Jones for understanding, you know, my point of view on this too. I think the other thing that I'm thinking about is the number of, you know, when you look at the research of future home buyers, they're not the people that are looking for a lot of land. And one of the concerns I have about, you know, if we continue to focus on large house, large lot, is that we will end up in a situation where we won't be able to resell some of these homes if everything is the same. You have younger buyers in the market who would enjoy living out here, but they don't want large lots. And we're in a situation where the new home buyer in the market today that's in this city and moving to this city, and when you look at the companies that are being recruited to come here, I just want us to be mindful that we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we have property that are unsellable because we don't offer the variety in the community. I mean, I just want us to make sure that we are aware of who the current buyers are, they're not the people who were buying homes 20 years ago. There's a very different demographic. And then those of you who are, are in community with like nieces, nephews, and mentees, or all of those folks who are buying homes, they're avoiding areas like ours because of the size of the responsibilities related to the lots. And so I hear all the subdivisions who have concerns, and they want something that looks like theirs. And I just think we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we focus only on trying to be similar and not adding variety. And if we look around any particular area in city, I think what makes those areas attractive is the variety of housing that's available to residents, even within the different price points. Because even in some of these subdivisions like Butner, like Walden Park, some of these homes in Walden Park are not at the 300, 350 price point. They're not. And they're not selling for that. So we cannot pretend that every home in District 2 is at 350 and above.
And that point is well taken, but you also have to be mindful of the ones that bought their homes, say 10, 20 years ago, and what their mindset was when they bought it. And so, we just don't want to do away with people wanting to retire where they are. If, instead of having to move out and go to a rural area to where they got the more land and to farm or whatever. But, I understand what you're saying, but I just want to be cautious. I just continue to hear, and my focus is I continue to hear this land use plan come up, and it's a stickler there. We need some clarity. We need more understanding on it. And, so that we can understand what are we operating under, what rules and regulations are we operating under, and that we can't pick and choose when we want to say that this violates the land use plan, or this one, will be in concurrent in the future using the land use plan. We need to be able to say, hey, if we are violating it, and I hate to use the word violate, but if we're not falling under the guidelines of the land use plan that's in place, then, we need to take that into consideration.
But I think Commissioner Reynolds, I think we do our staff a disservice if we say that when they tell us that we're not, that this is in accordance to the land use plan. I think they're the experts and the people that we should be leaning toward to understand what that really is. I mean, just because 16 people from the community say that it isn't, and the staff says that it is, the trained, qualified staff that we've trusted and hired to do this work, that's who, I don't think that Nathan and Shayla and Marissa and Dana would tell us something that was untrue.
Well, and so and that's not my intent to say that they would.
Okay.
I'm saying that, if you do your research and you read what the land use plan consists of, then you can follow it. And I'm just saying, with the 16 people that are out there, I know at least 10 of them are well versed on the land use plan. So again, we just want to be clear so that we can better do our jobs in making a good sound judgment on what we're doing when we approve or disapprove these developments. So and that's all it is. No intent that anyone is doing a disservice or leading us the wrong way, because hey, they are experts and they wouldn't be where they are if they weren't. So again, with that being said, did we close public comment?
No, sir.
I have a comment before we
And this is Commissioner Jones. I also have a comment.
All right, let's give you guys 1 minute apiece, and then we'll close public comment.
Yes, sir. I'll be real brief. I understand everybody's point. We are a new city, so we have an opportunity to develop the city the way we see fit. The way we see would be best fit for our community and residents. We're not short on land. We have several districts. Some of them are more residential density than others. Some are more rural. So that allows, that diversity to already be there. And we also have to remember it's in the developer's interest to do these high density communities. They profit more for doing that, not necessarily us. So we have to keep everything in perspective. You know, the same type of development can take place where someplace else closer to a little more residentially dense community versus putting in where there's a conflict of interest. So just because it can happen doesn't mean it has to happen there. And yes, the planning committee has their responsibilities, and so do we as planning commissioners. Ours is to represent, you know, what we see fit in the community's best interest. So we have to weigh everything carefully.
Commissioner Jones.
Yeah, I think that I'd just like to introduce into the record that you can build $400,000 and $500,000 homes, but amenities also drive value. And so you can build smaller homes and increase the amenities to a community, which adds value and increases the value of all of the houses of our community. So I think that that also needs to be. I also want to go back to what Commissioner Hadley said. When I was speaking, it was not specifically on Z20-009, but just forward leaning as a city, what the overall vision would be. Not necessarily, I see the opposition, I hear it, and I understand it. But I think we need to bring some other discussion into that we're leaving these $300,000 and $400,000 homes and we're taking our money to other communities because the amenities are there. I yield back the balance of my time.
Hello, this is Commissioner Williams. I have a question. I didn't hear her say anything about a transportation study in regards to this area, because I keep hearing Butner, and Butner is only so big for traffic.
It's in the report that we got from the information about the traffic study was listed in the report from the staff.
Yeah, a full transportation plan or study rather was submitted. There wasn't any major issues determined during that study. I'm happy to send the full document to the members if they would like to see the full document.
Also, staff, was this where we were talking about adding a roundabout?
It is, the roundabout would be at the intersection nearby, but not
It will be
directly in
at Butner.
contact with this property.
Okay.
The roundabout is at West Stubbs and Butner.
Mm-hmm.
At that intersection?
Yes.
Yeah, where the gas station is.
That's Butner and Stonewall.
Butner and Stonewall.
But there's going to be one at Butner. One has been approved at Butner and West Stubbs. And I've gotten verification from Tom Udell and provided that as well. And that has been approved.
All right, commissioners, if there is not anything else, we'd like to get a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Commissioner Walters, motion to close public comment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. I think all discussion has gone forward. Staff, can you call a roll call vote, please?
Yes, this will be a roll call vote. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
All right, we will now entertain a motion to vote on the petition Z20-009. Is there a motion on the floor to accept or deny?
This is
Is that for the rezoning, or is that for? Is that the rezoning?
I'm sorry, are we still on 8?
Yeah, we have 8 and 9.
Yeah.
This is gonna go for a while, so we know how to get started.
Sorry, that's
Mr. Perlman, could you mute your phone, please?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, that was the gentleman who just was talking on the call. His case is later in the evening.
Okay. So we're voting on Z20-008.
Yes.
Okay. It's motion on the floor. Commissioners,
I motion that we vote to approve Z20-008 for Bundle Road and West Stubbs at 3315 West Stubbs Road.
is there a second?
This is Commissioner Weatherly. I second that.
Been so properly moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's get a roll call vote, staff.
Yes, roll call vote. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Nay.
Commissioner Jones. I'm sorry, Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Walters,
Nay.
Commissioner Williams,
Yeah,
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes, 5 yeas, 2 nays.
All right, staff, would you call the next petition?
Yes, the next two I will read through together. It's Z20-009 and a concurrent variance. This is to do the front part of this development. You'll see on the maps, obviously, to go from AG1 to SH for senior living. This proposal has gone through many different versions based on community feedback and discussion with council members. It started as a mixed development with condos and townhomes and some cottages, and has evolved into, and could someone please mute their phone?
No, I can.
And so it has evolved to be a single family residence of various types, which you'll see. This case, again, with the previous case, combines and rezones 3 parcels into 2. Staff recommendation here is for approval. We can go to the next slide, please. It will be the same parcels as we've seen before, so we skip those. This is the front part of the development. You'll see the road on the right is Butner Road. There's the entrance in the middle. On the upper left is the connection to the subdivision right behind it. And immediately to the right of that road, you would exit up that road and turn right, you'd be on West Stubbs. So this site plan here is a combination of quads, duplexes, some townhomes, some single cottages, but all intended to be single family residences. You see the amenity area in the center of this development. We can go to the next slide, please. These are some renderings of proposed developments. You have single family cottages, 1-car garage. Below and the top is a duplex with 2 cottages side by side. We can move on to the next slide, please. This will be the concurrent variance for this case. And the variance they're requesting is a change from our requirement in the age of 62 to be 55. This is the trend in types of housing. And I say that it provides for a more dynamic environment, meaning that you have some seniors who are retired, some who are still working, and there would be definitely a wide range of visitors to these type of homes in terms of children, grandchildren, things like that. Having a wider range of potential clients would also help ensure the commercial success of this development. And staff recommendations for approval on both of these cases. And that is the end of the staff report. And there is a PowerPoint submitted by the petitioner during their public comment time.
A motion on the floor to open public comment at this time.
John Walters, motion to open public comment.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
So probably moved in second. Public comment is now open. We
I'll
can
do a roll call vote.
Yes, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
Is the petitioner online?
Yes, Michelle Battle with Battle Law, 1 West Court Square, Decatur, Georgia, 30030. We can go to the next slide. Again, the property is zone AG1 and we are asking to rezone to SH. We can go to the next slide. So if we can go, yeah. So what we are proposing is an active adult living community. And many try to characterize that as simply senior housing. And I beg a little bit of a difference. At age 56 myself, I don't necessarily like being referred to as a senior. I guess technically that I am. But what we know is that the term senior applies to a wide diversity of individuals, individuals with different living styles, individuals with different mobility, individuals with different needs and desires. But typically what we will find is that once you hit 55 and you are an empty nester, and that's who we are looking to attract to this project, that once you are an empty nester, you simply don't need as much space as you needed when you had a family living with you. Usually it's yourself and a partner, husband, wife that's living with you, or you may be single and you simply want to live in a community that doesn't have right next door to worry about the children in the yard every day. Yeah, you may have a grandkid that comes over and visits every once in a while, but thank goodness they have a home to go to and can move on to their parents, and you can still stay in your home in the quiet and peace that we are often looking for after we hit 55. This active adult community will offer social life, safety, independence from those of similar age groups. We can look at other examples of these active adult communities, and what we want to bring is a quality product into the city of South Fulton, and in particular to District 2. If we can go to the next slide, please. When we look at the city of South Fulton, many have asked why. Well, when you look here at this graph, which is provided in your strategic plan, you will see that 65 and older in the city of South Fulton was the fastest growing group in the city of South Fulton at 79.8%. Stronger than any of the other demographics. That is simply a testament to what is happening around this country. And that is the baby boomers are here at 55. If you combine the 55 and the 65 and older, there's been a significant increase in the number of individuals in that age group that are in this city, and that number will only continue to go up. You can go to the next slide. Under your strategic plan, there was also indication in the resident survey that one of the greatest needs in this community is for senior housing. At 63.2% of the respondents in the city of South Fulton, that people keep asking, why? Why do we need this? Why do we need this? Well, the citizens of this community has indicated that senior housing is one of the most pressing needs in the city of South Fulton. If we can go to the next slide. What we don't have in the city of South Fulton is a diversity of housing.
Michelle, we lost you.
Sorry about that. I don't know where you lost me at, but I hope it's just now this slide.
With the diversity of housing, we're talking about the diversity of housing.
Okay, so with the diversity of housing that we have, what we want is a diversity of housing, should I say, in the city of South Fulton. And we believe that this project helps to provide some of that diversity. Every senior, again, doesn't have the same needs. And what we're looking at is 104 units. Initially, we did have a multi-story building. We took that out. It's responsive to the needs of the desires of the community. We do have a community building now that's in blue that'll be shaded there. That building has to be in excess of 800 square foot. It will be a sizable building that will have heated floor area for the community to be able to do activities and the like. And additionally, we will have a pool in this area as well. The separate entrance will be off of Butner Road. We have been asked to make some modifications to the configuration of that, which we will do along with the request of the Transportation Department. Can I have the next slide, please? We do provide 3 different product types. The first is the quads. We have 24 quadruplex units. The minimum floor area will be 1,000 square feet. Under the SH district regulations, the minimum square footage is actually 900 square feet. And I point that out because that really means that the SH district regulations anticipates a smaller unit size. We will have these units starting at $190,000 for these quad units. And remember that when you look at the price per square foot, once again, it is much higher than the surrounding units. These seniors are paying more money for less space because they want less space and they can afford less space. Can we go to the next slide, please? We will also have townhome units, 30 townhome units at 1,600 square feet. Again, under the SH district regulations, the minimum requirement for a townhome is 900 square feet. We are providing 1,600 square feet at a starting price point of $250,000. All of this has been in response to the issues that were raised by the community and by the reconfiguration of the site to take out the multifamily and to put in, and we took out more of the quads and put in more of the single family, the cottage homes, which then required the price points in these units to increase in order to cover all of the infrastructure that will have to take place on this project. Just because we lower the number of units, that means that the actual cost of the units has to go up because it's fewer people to spread that cost between. Can we go to the next slide, please? When we look at the single detached, these will be cottage style homes at 1,900 square feet with a starting price point of $290,000. We go to the next slide. When we look at the standard features, these standard interior features will include the following: vaulted or 9-foot ceilings on the main floor. I'm just going to go through some of them: crown molding, fireplaces, spacious kitchen, appliances, including a range, over-the-range microwave, stainless steel sinks and faucets and spray handles. We've got master bathroom with cultured marble countertop, brushed nickel features, tiled floors in the bathrooms and the laundry, classic or craftsman style smooth panel interior doors on the exterior. We've got craftsman style cottage type homes with elevations with brick, stone, shake, cement fiber siding. We've got masonry front porches. We've got 2-car garages. I mean, this is going to be a very nice and high quality senior community. Can we go to the next slide, please? Upgrades will also be allowed. We'll have vaulted screen back porches. They can finish their full bath. Sorry, there's no basement on that one. Well, the basement in the townhomes, I guess, is maybe what they're referring to. But the bottom line is we will have upgrades that will be available to this community. We can go to the next slide. In a price per square foot on the senior component, again, the average price per square foot is $93. Ours will be in excess of $152 a square foot. I know that most people just focus on the price point, but price point has to be relative to how much square footage you're actually buying. How much house are you buying for the price? These folks will be buying less house for more money. And that, again, is because it is a specialized community. We know that seniors like smaller living space. Some are saying, well, you know, they like to live with families. This is going to be an age-restricted community. Can we go to the next slide? So I would ask staff, we did have conditions that were proposed. Those conditions are extremely specific, particularly with regards to our variance request to reduce the age from 62 to 55. This will be an age-restricted community. There will be only those age 55 and older can actually live in the community. There will be a mandatory homeowners association. They will assist in overseeing that requirement along with the other facilities on site that will be available for the community space, the pool area and amenity areas. This actually will connect into the adjacent project, which you all just recommended for approval. There is one primary access off of Butner Road with that secondary access through West Stubbs. The traffic study supported the density that we are proposing for this project, and we believe that this will be an exciting opportunity for seniors to actually stay in the community and also be an attraction to seniors who may be coming.
Miss Battle, you're out of time, ma'am.
Sorry, coming from the north down into Atlanta. Thank you.
All right, thank you, staff. Is there any comments for those that are against this development?
I have one that was submitted, and some of these points again may be relevant to previous versions of this proposal. But my comment that I have is from Harold Reed. I object to this project as submitted, as it would fundamentally change the character of the area with no immediate benefit to the surrounding community. It would also violate the conditions of the Cliffondale Overlay District as to height requirements for a residential structure. In early discussions with the developer, interest was expressed in the possibility of a 55+ active adult development. The concept cottages, duplexes, quads, and townhomes were mentioned by the community as acceptable form of such development. We clearly say we were not in favor of multi-story 3 or 4 floor condos, as it would totally go against the suburban character of the area. Additionally, that level of density would totally strain the road network and isolate and surround the existing homes on Butner Road and West Stubbs Road. However, the developer decided to push forward with its hodgepodge design that exemplifies shotgun development. This should be stopped now. And I will say the plan that was submitted took those comments to consideration and is very different from the original plan that Mr. Reed was commenting on with these comments. And that's all I have.
I have another one from Mr. Reed. I continue, and this is for 009. I continue to object to the above reference request for the following reasons. We are being asked, in exchange for deleting high-rise condos, we accept a design akin to Army barracks. And having no detailed designs or discussions, I have no idea what this would entail. What is the building separation? What are the front and rear setbacks? Right-of-way for streets, landscaping plan. Based on the colored drawings, it has the appearance of a golden age ghetto. Number 2, I have seen no detailed presentation of the revised plan other than what was presented at the CZIM on January 11th, 2021. I know at least one meeting was held to discuss the revised plan, but somehow I was notified, even though I had provided I guess he's saying I was not notified, my contact information to the developer, legal counsel, especially so I could be kept informed of any developments. That concludes.
I have some additional comments. It says, Betho Group says this adult living lacks amenities and senior services. S. Dowdy says we don't oppose senior living. It's the mess you are pushing. I've seen beautiful homes for 55+. This isn't it. Lazy. Silver Lining Villages says this is simply insulting. James Anderson says, how will they provide safety when the COSF police department can't properly service us now? Harold Reed says there are too many units for the landmass. SH is needed, but not at this density. 2013 Aurora says, we want quality homes and amenities for our seniors. S. Dowdy said, probably so at 2013 Aurora. Phyllis Reed says, agree. Kay Johnson. I'm sorry, I missed my place. Kay Johnson says, man, I smell investment sales and increased crime. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. Opposed. Someone said, not vibe, said good. Rescale sales says opposed. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, what study are you basing size on? What is the target income level for the seniors? Kenneth F. Joe Sr. says, I haven't seen any comments for this. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, I am a senior. Harold Reed is a senior. Chinedu Uzochi says, Kay Johnson, we already have crime. It will be added crime, but protection is in places for seniors and homeowners with these. What protection is a question. What protection is in place for the seniors and homeowners with these new proposals? 2000 Aurora says, we will still not want it. Real Scales Tails says opposed. Beverly Wirt says, not very different. Susan Myers, realtor, says, council members and Michelle Battle, seniors looking for an adult community don't want to be around families. Why do you think it's called all adult community? S. Dowdy says, let this be a lesson, everyone. Experienced leadership is critical. Let's start vetting. Chinedu Uzochi says, Susan Myers, realtor, thank you. Silver Lining Villages says, this is horrible. No real information, no response. Not Vibe says, exactly, Susan Myers, realtor. Real Sale Tale says, nothing changes the outcome. This doesn't make sense as presented. Not in favor, opposed. Silver Lining Villages says, vetting and replacing. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, how is this project going to increase existing property values? How is this project going to attract more upscale commercial development? Kay Johnson says, at Chinedu Uzochi, agreed. 2013 Aurora says, we are fighting so hard and they are not listening. Silver Lining Villages says, not one word, time to find a way to be heard. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, how will you prevent investors from buying and renting out these units? Will there be a rental cap? Robert and Tanya Anderson says, I oppose. Are you going to disregard the residents? Silver Lining Villages says, good question, Atlanta Real Estate Lady. Not Vibe says, senior housing that shares an entrance with non-senior housing makes 0 sense. I would never want my senior loved ones living in a senior community not gated and that has a shared entrance. Beverly Word says, opposed. And Kay Johnson says, why are the concerns of the people being ignored? I don't have any more comments at this time.
Dana, did you have any?
No, that was it. I do have a comment for the concurrent variance though, just for the record.
Can we hear that now?
Sure. Okay, this comment for VC 20001 from Michael Venable. I am requesting that you deny the age variance for the senior housing zoning. Approving this variance sets a precedent for the entire city. I was at the hearing at the Fulton County Commission where the senior housing zoning was discussed and adopted, and all agreed the density relief should be tied to the stated 62 age. If the applicant wants younger residents, the standard residential zoning class should apply. That concludes.
I will also add that there are conditions that have been submitted by the applicant that are in the packet that were given to the Planning Commission members.
Are those some conditions that you can share?
Yes, let's see. Can we get those? Marissa, do you have those to put on the screen in the packet?
Yeah, I do. Give me a second.
No problem.
So
Keep scrolling. Yeah, here we go. Just walks you through the density that's proposed, the size of the units, and there was an addendum sent in that was in this packet as well as to changing the size of, I believe, the townhome minimum size there. There would be an HOA, so there would be restrictions on the age of people who could own there. There would be restrictions on the number, if any, that could be rented. So there would be a regular HOA attributes would be applicable to this community as well. Are there any questions or clarification on any of these points requested by the members?
Can they continue to scroll up so they can see all the conditions?
Let me ask a question about number 4. You're saying that the unit shall be 100% occupied by persons who are 55 years of age or older. Does that include family?
Yes.
So there are no children or loved ones that can be under that age that will be living on this site.
Correct. And that's the same as is required under the current, the SH. So we're abiding by the exact same requirements that are under the SH for 62 and older, which is why we went under these provisions so that it was clear that the city can enforce.
Does that conclude at number 9?
I think there's more. I don't know if staff didn't go over them, but there will be an internal sidewalk system. There will be amenities developed in accordance with what we've shown, the undisturbed buffers, the location off of Butner Road, a minimum of 1-car garage, although most of them will have 2-car garages. The exterior facade materials are shown there. Number 12 are the undisturbed buffers along the perimeter. We could keep scrolling down. And there will be a subdivision monument sign on the Butner Road side for this particular development. So we would ask for a recommendation of approval subject to the 13 conditions presented.
I guess one of my concerns is that when you talk about senior living, I really don't know many seniors who want to deal with stairs. And I guess I equate that to the townhomes that are being proposed.
Well, we actually have some examples of townhome communities that have been age restricted to 55 and older. All seniors are not adverse to stairs. We wanted to be able to give kind of a mid-range price point and a mid-level option for seniors in terms of the square footage. Additionally, there will be options for the chair access. These will be 2-story units. Many of the senior communities that we have investigated and that have been looked at, I can show you a ton of them that have actual stairs similar to what will be in these townhome units. Most of them have what they call bonus rooms on the 2nd floor of their cottages.
So I mean, I believe it was stated that this development doesn't comply with the overlay district.
We are
as
providing
as far as the height goes. I believe that's what it was saying.
That was
So
when
that-
we had the 4 units. That was when we had the 4-story buildings. We are now only 2 stories.
That is correct. The previous iteration of this plan had a condo building, but that was removed.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the board?
Yeah, this is a Shatiqua Floyd. It says no occupants over 55, correct?
Under 55.
Under 55.
Yes, ma'am.
But we have to keep in mind, I think it's a great idea, but we have to keep in mind that life happens. So what if we purchase a home at 55 and one of our children or someone else has to come and live with the elder to help take care of them and so forth?
Under the requirements under the city, even at 62 and older, that is simply not allowed. So they would have to relocate if they were going to actually take someone in that was younger than what is allowed. Whether it's 55 and older or 62 and older, the rule is still the same. And that's what they sign on to when they move or buy the unit, when they buy their unit.
If there is not any other questions from the board, can we get a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Probably moved in second. Discussion is went forth. Can we get a roll call vote, staff?
Yes. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley, Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
and Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir. There's can we get a motion to adopt or deny Z20-009?
Yes, this is Rodney. I'll make a motion to deny.
Second.
Janai Walters, I second the motion.
Been properly moved and second. Staff, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Brown,
Nay.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Nay. Oh, excuse me. May I reverse that vote? I'm sorry.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Aye.
This is to deny, right?
To deny. I'm sorry.
Okay. Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
This motion passes to deny with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 votes to yay and 1 vote nay.
So this petition passed.
It was denied. It was passed for denial.
Okay, it was denied. All right.
Mr.
So,
Chairman, may I have them read that back? I want to know who the nay was.
staff, can you accommodate?
Yes, that was Commissioner Brown.
All right, now,
Thank you.
Chairman, may I speak, please, sir?
yes, you may.
I just want to make I guess, a comment regarding the motions. We should always say recommend approval or denial. Kind of listening, it sounds as if you're making a final decision. So I want to make sure you note that these are all recommendations.
That's why I asked if we, thank you, Shayla. That's why I asked that question. Are we voting to deny? Because I didn't think we could make a motion like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All
so
folks standing.
So do we need to change that for the record?
You can make the statement recommend. It doesn't change anything. You're still a recommending body. I just know moving forward, you should always use the word recommend when a motion is being made.
So to that point, Ms. Reed, should we redo the motion? Because he said he made a motion to deny.
If you want to be for clarity, if you would like, you can make that motion again with the word recommendation.
if I may, I think that I stated to make a motion to deny or accept.
But the motion that was made by Commissioner Hadley,
Was
he did
denied.
not say,
I
yeah, he
understood.
said to deny. He did
And
not.
that's where, and if Ms. Reed, correct me if I'm wrong, that's where you were saying that you should put recommendation.
That is correct, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, so we need to go forth and make a motion to approve or deny variance VC 20001. Can we get a recommendation on that motion? Board,
This is Commissioner Walters. I make the recommendation to deny the petition.
is there a second?
I second.
Properly moved in second, discussion has went forth. Staff, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Brown,
Nay.
Commissioner Hadley.
Aye.
I'm sorry, one more time, please.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
The recommendation to deny passes, 6 yeas to 1 nay.
Duly noted. Staff, can you call the next case, please?
Yes, and this case is going to be presented by our director, Mrs. Shayla Reed.
Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to present this item over to you. I made mention to the earlier point of the meeting that for the agenda purpose, we would need to hear the items together. Of course, that would be item Z2110 as well as AN 21001. However, the vote for AN 21001 should be made first as far as the vote for that before the rezoning of Z 21010. So I'm ready for the PowerPoint, Marissa, if you are. Awesome. So as mentioned before, this is a rezoning request for property located along Waycrest and Riverside Drive. Next slide, please. This rezoning request is approximately for 12.11 acres. They're looking to have a multifamily complex developed here. The first phase is complete and phase 2 is underway. The proposed density will be for 210 residential units, with 150 of those units being designated for seniors. And this property will be accessible per Waycrest Drive. Next slide, please. Okay, before you go to the next slide, I want to point out something here. This parcel is split in half. You'll see that half is already within the city limits of South Fulton, and the other half is in unincorporated Fulton County. The property owner wishes to become 100% incorporated within our boundaries. Next slide, please. So you'll see where Waycrest Drive is located. It's located adjacent to an existing apartment complex. And so you'll see where the road there where that vehicle is located is how you will access the site. Next slide, please. And this is the existing site plan for the development that's showing the 2 phases. As I noted, phase 1 is already constructed. Next slide, please. Okay, for the annexation component of it, next slide. So this is a lot of word gumbo here, but I need to make sure I include it. This property is pursuant to the 100% method of annexation as proposed and provided by OCGA 363620, which says that it must meet the 1/8 aggregate boundary or 50 feet, whichever is less. The subject property shares 1,026 feet of the property of corporate limits of the city of South Fulton, which makes it so that it does meet, again, that requirement. Once the annexation is finalized, existing police services will be provided to the site, as well as fire and other services provided by the city. For record purposes, notices was sent out to Fulton County on October 30th of 2020. Fulton County did not provide any objections. In addition to that, you will see that the taxes received or proposed for this site is very minimal to none. One good reason for that, you'll see that the smaller component, there's 2 separate parcels. One parcel is very, very small, so that tax would be very small at $6 to the current millage rate that we have. And then the larger component will receive nothing at this time due to this ownership by the Housing Authority. Thank you for that, Marissa. And staff is recommending approval of both the annexation as well as the rezoning. That concludes my report.
I'm sorry?
I said that concludes my report.
Okay. Do we need to hear the next petition since you stated we should vote on B first?
So I presented them both to you at the same time. So the applicant is present if you wish to speak to him to learn more about the particular development. But yes, you'll need to have the annexation open to the public first, and then your vote and follow the process there.
Okay, yeah. I will take a motion to open public comment. Board?
Commissioner Walters, motion to open public comment.
Is there a second?
A second.
Probably moved in second. We hear from the
call.
Roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Brown? Commissioner Brown?
Aye. I was trying to get off mute. Sorry.
Yeah. Commissioner Hadley?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Walters?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly?
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can we hear from the petitioner at this time?
Good evening. This is Edric Harris with Presswick Development Company. I'm here accompanied by Teresa Davis with the Housing Authority of Fulton County. Good evening, and thanks so much for allowing us the opportunity to come before you tonight. This application, from all intent and purposes, are really to clean up. I guess right now, as Shayla presented, we're essentially split. Part of the parcel is in unincorporated Fulton County. The other portion is in South Fulton. So our goal is to be 100% within South Fulton. And of course, that will, clean a lot of things up procedurally for all parties involved. I think the presentation that was given, we have 80 units that are currently completed on the ground. We've started leasing back in December. And then we just closed on 70 additional senior units. And these are all 62 and older affordable housing units targeted toward individuals making approximately 60% of the area median income. And then of course, we do have some at more affordable rates in partnership with the Housing Authority of Fulton County. And then we are showing the future phase of 60 multifamily units that will come, sometime in the future. And based on the zoning requests, everything is still consistent with, the zoning that was previously in place with Fulton County, just transferring everything over to the city of South Fulton. And I'll reserve my additional time for any questions or comments. And thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Staff, is there any comments for this proposal?
I'm sorry, you say that there are more comments?
Yes, is there any comments for that anyone want to speak for?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
I don't have any in the planning email.
Okay. How about
Marissa?
I don't have any comments either.
All right. Is there anyone speaking against, want to comment coming in against this particular development?
I have a question, but not necessarily a comment for or against. Atlanta Real Estate Lady says, for the annexation, what is the nearest grocery store, drugstore to this development? Why is it not 100% unincorporated Fulton County? Where did you get the income data for this development?
Marissa, are we answering those questions now?
If you choose to.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So we were very lucky. We had a food desert in this particular area that we no longer have because we have a recently constructed public shopping area near that area, actually in walking distance. And so the nearest pharmacy would be in that particular building as well as the grocery store as well. And as far as the data information, that would be the petitioner who would have more of that information.
Okay. Does that conclude all public comment, staff?
There's one more question from Bernadette Hudson. It says, it is not possible to have senior housing and have it share a parcel with other communities. Who is in charge and would be so insensitive to the issue seniors to even suggest something this stupid?
Was that a question or that's a comment?
I believe she phrased part of it as a question, but it's a comment.
Would you repeat that, please?
Yeah.
She said, it is not possible to have senior housing and have it share a parcel with other communities. Who is in charge and would be so insensitive to the issues of seniors to even suggest something this stupid? From Bernadette Hudson.
Does that conclude public comments, staff?
Yes. From my side, yes.
I have one more question. Can the petitioner provide the source of income data?
Is that possible?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's all published data from the U.S. Census Tract. U.S. Census, and it is published through, I think, the Georgia Department of Community Affairs also houses that data on their website as well, which is where we typically pull it from as we receive some of our funding through that program.
Was there anything else, staff?
Not that I have at this time.
No.
Okay. Commissioners will take a motion to close public comment.
A motion that we close public comment.
Second.
Second.
Duly noted. Been properly moved in second. All discussion has went forth. Staff, roll call vote, please.
Yes, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir. I believe we will entertain a motion, a recommendation to approve or deny petition AN 20001.
Did I miss board comments and questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Did you have something?
This- Commissioner Walters, I did have a quick question. With the annexation, will the development still be under the Sandtown
Overlay?
overlay? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, if that would be the case.
Commissioner Brown?
So I just want to, as it pertains to public comment, to remind everybody, this is a televised, recorded public meeting, and we want to refrain from name calling. We do not want to put our staff in the position of having to read comments that, you know, are uncomfortable to hear, but also for them to read. So I just, you know, that's my biggest thing. And I think, you know, even to Marissa, if you feel uncomfortable reading comments, especially that have, you know, that people are calling people names, it's inappropriate. Please don't feel like you have to read them verbatim. I think it's completely inappropriate.
Is there any other comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, I think public comment has already been voted on and closed. So we'll move forward with the motion to recommend a denial or approval for petition AN 20001 at this time. Board?
I'm sorry, is that for both the annexation and the construction? And I apologize if you said, I think I'm growing tired. I apologize if I missed it.
We'll need 2 votes like everything else, I believe.
If I may add, your annexation and your rezoning must be separate votes.
Correct.
And the annexation and the zoning, does that go first again? I
So
know
the annexation must go first. So your recommendation will be to recommend approval or denial of the annexation request. Once that takes place, then the property must be zoned. So then the next item would be the rezoning. And so you're making a recommendation to approve or deny the staff's recommendation for zoning.
I thought, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a motion?
Yes, this is Rodney. I make a motion to recommend approval of the annexation.
I second the motion.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, staff, can you give us a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now we have a motion on the floor to recommend or deny petition Z20010. Board, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
been properly moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, staff, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir. Staff, can you call the next case?
Yes, this is our last case of the night. Can you just get the PowerPoint brought up on the screen, please? Well, there's a lovely shade of teal.
And we're all sad this is the last case.
Because we running out of energy.
I'm sorry, my computer's freezing at the exact wrong time. Just a second.
We have
There we
all been
go.
there. There it is. Use 20, U20003 is a use permit for 5829 Campbellton. We can go to the next slide, please. This is for a special use permit in the new public shopping center. This is for a new permanent business license for an existing business. They are relocating within South Fulton from one spot to another. And I see the teal screen again. There it is. The use is a nail salon. I'll tell the Planning Commission now, you should anticipate seeing a lot more use permit cases going into the future because several common uses were added to the list of uses that require a permit in our zoning ordinance rewrite. And so a staff recommendation here is for approval. We can go to the next slide, please. You can see the Google aerial map and street view are a little old because there's a lot more construction at the current site now, but it is at the new public shopping center. And you can see that our GIS map has the whole area labeled as C1, but all of the addresses are not yet in the system, but I assure all the public, the entire internet, and the board that the address and shopping center and out parcel are in and correctly addressed at the location on the screen. We can go to the next slide, please. And this is just an interior layout of the nail salon. It's a new spot. This will be brand new build out for the salon, and it is an expansion and relocation of their existing business. And that concludes the staff report on this case.
Thank you, staff. Got a motion to open public comment?
I make a motion to open public comment.
Second. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you. Been properly moved in second to open public comment. Yeah, are we hearing from a petitioner? Staff?
Can I do the roll call?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Roll call vote, please.
No worries. Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Walters,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd,
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly.
Aye.
This vote passes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Are we hearing from the petitioner? Or
This is John Perlman. I'm the developer. I don't know if Mr. Tran is still on the phone. He's got young children. He may have had to get off. I
Yes,
just want to thank.
yes, I am. I'm Mr. John.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening, and thank you for all your voted. It is my family business, and we've been in the community for over 8 years, and now we are expanding our business. It is double our current location right now. It's gonna be more space due to this COVID, and it's great to the community, so we can spread the customer out, so they don't have to be close to each other. And it's a brand new business. Everything will be brand new, and hopefully bring more business and to the South Fulton. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Staff, is there any other comments in favor of this petition?
Yes, I do have one. Copeland Jorica. Hello, I am a resident of South Fulton for over 12 years. I was supporting Emily Nails for 8 years. Recently made a decision. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not in support. Do you want to forward with anybody supporting first before I speak on this one?
If anyone else have any comments for or in favor of, if not, we will move forward with those that are against.
This is John Perlman. I'm the owner of the shopping center, and I would just like to speak in favor of it. And Mr. Tran's been a great tenant for the past 8 years. I have his family actually at other shopping centers as well. And we're looking to let him expand his space to a larger suite within our development so that you can better serve the community. And we appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir. All right, this time we will entertain any comments that are against this petition.
Okay, and I will continue with the one from the planning email address. Hello, I'm a resident of South Fulton for over 12 years. I was supporting Emily Nails for 8 years. Recently made a decision of not supporting them any longer. Emily Nails are not great for our neighborhood, and I'm opposing they do not move next to Publix. The salon has several customer complaints about the salon equipment not being properly sanitized, especially during the pandemic, and their customer service is not rated well for us people of color. I made a post on Nextdoor app about my recent encounter with not supporting this salon, and there was over 100 people commented and agreed to take their business elsewhere. Please, I am asking not to place Emily Nail Salon next to Publix supermarket. That concludes.
Are there any other comments?
There
that are not-
are. It
Go ahead.
says they do not care about us, just as these board members don't. What else? Shalice Dowdy said they don't live in our area. What do they care? We really don't. Chucktown QT said we really don't need another nail salon. And I think those are all of the comments specifically about Emily's nails in the chat.
All right, does that conclude the comments that are against this petition?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Hello, this is Commissioner Williams. Are they expanding or this is a new location?
We are expanding, ma'am.
Okay. So the location,
right?
so the location that people do not like, that's not the same location. I mean, what I'm saying is, are you moving from the old location to this new location? Or
Yes, ma'am.
okay, okay.
So again, thank you for that question, Commissioner Williams. You are currently operating within this plaza already, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, this is a new plaza.
Oh, this
There's
So
nothing in the
I
Publix
can,
plaza but Publix right now.
if you allow me, I can provide some clarification. So, you guys know there's that CVS on the corner of Camp Creek and Campbellton Road. So I think Emily's Nails is in the part that's always been there where the CVS is. And so what they want to do is move their nail salon into the strip mall where the Publix is instead of where the CVS is.
And so this is a new location.
Yeah, they're just it's always been there in the CVS. So they're just moving a couple feet back to where the new Publix is.
Okay, and this is Commissioner Williams again. And so he said the reason he's moving is because he need a bigger space. What was the existing space square foot, and what is this square foot?
This is the developer speaking. His current location is 1,300 square feet. And that was sort of the standard when he opened it 8 years ago. His new location is proposed to be 2,100 square feet. So that's, as he said, it's approximately 50% larger, a much larger area. And it is in the same development, Sandtown Crossing. It is legally a different address. He's moving from 5819 Campbellton Road to 5829 Campbellton Road. But they're only, it's a couple hundred feet apart. It is only I guess a technicality that he needed to apply for this process. It would have been less expensive for him to expand in his current location, except the cleaner that's next door did not want to relocate. So the cleaner is staying where he is. So he was constrained in that spot, and wanting to serve the community better, he needed to relocate to a different spot.
So question for you, staff, with this move, does this development fall in line with all parking criteria and restrooms and so forth?
Oh, yes. There's sufficient parking and all the facilities have to pass all building inspections during their build out.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions from the commissioners?
This is Commissioner Jones. I didn't hear a comment, and this might not be in our purview, but it was brought up, and since it was on the record, I just want to make sure that I heard it. I believe one of the comments were that there were 100 petitioners or something, and I couldn't make out what was said. Is it possible, Mr. Chairman, to just have that for the record, just to have that read again for my understanding, since it was introduced into.
Would you like the whole statement read or just that sentence that specifies the amount of?
Would you read the paragraph of that statement? I mean, not the entire, but just that paragraph.
Great. Okay, I made a post on Nextdoor app about my recent encounter with not supporting this salon, and there was over 100 people commented and agreed to take their business elsewhere.
Okay. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, sir. Were there any other questions from the board?
This is Commissioner Walters. I would like to ask the owner if he would just make a quick comment to the community in terms of expectations with regards to working with the community and servicing the community.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, you're breaking up, Commissioner. Can you do something? I'm sure your comments are great. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can anyone else hear me?
Coming in a little choppy. Try it again.
How about now?
Go ahead.
Okay, great. I was just going to ask the owner if he would make some comments to the commission, the board, as well as the residents in the community that they'll be serving in response to some of the comments that have come back about service there, and service expectation, and also reflecting some of the Yelp reviews that mirror what the community has reflected in the survey that was presented or mentioned. So I'd like the owner just to maybe talk about his expectations in terms of servicing the community with the larger space in the move.
So you're asking the petitioner to basically address the questions, address those comments that were read? Yeah.
And before, Commissioner Walters, I hear where you're going, but I don't know if that's within the scope of the Planning Commission because he's either going to stay in the location at the CVS, or he's going to move, down the street, like actually across the parking lot.
Right.
So I'm not exactly sure if that's. I hear where you're going. I just don't want us to get outside the scope of our responsibility, because again, this is only on our docket because of the new commercial, like the nail salon specifically, because of all of the work we did last year. Mm-hmm. Right? Because otherwise we wouldn't even be seeing a request like this.
That's correct.
Yeah, I just wanted, and that's why I asked the question, to get some clarity on where she was going. So are you comfortable with that, Commissioner?
I am comfortable with that. I wanted to just be responsive to where some of the concerns of the community, and because I understand that this is now a new requirement, and that is based on adding these additional services and businesses under the rewrite. But that also reflects. That also reflects that those organizations may not have had to come for petitions, but now they do. So, I mean, if the community is responding to concerns about an organization, moving in and requesting a petition, I'd appreciate hearing if they're going to address or have some plans in perspective to address some of the community concerns.
I mean, it was, and I understand, and that's why I preface my remarks by saying this might not be in our purview or our scope. but it was introduced. And just as a recommendation board, I would be interested in knowing how the petitioner responds to that.
Well,
Nathan, are you saying that's something that was introduced on in the official record, that the petitioner, at the request of commissioners, does not have to respond to that? Or are you saying that we're wrong to ask him that?
I mean, I don't have any issue with you asking him to respond to the, I mean, it's an accusation made by a community member, but again, I don't know that that's necessarily relevant to the use permit.
Well, you have a commissioner asking, and I join with her. Let him.
Yeah. I mean, he's certainly free to respond to it. Sure.
And I just would like to clarify, Commissioner, I just would like to clarify, I'm not asking him to necessarily defend against specific comments. I would just like to know, what his expectations are to address the community in general. If there are some things that the community is reflecting as a business owner to make the business successful, this is an opportunity to let the community know what that will be.
Okay, well then let me clarify my point. My point is 100 residents have apparently written something, and he's before this board, and I'd just like to hear what his response is so he can do both hands.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, commissioners.
Yes.
Seeing how staff doesn't have any objection to the question being answered, let's just give the petitioner a chance to respond briefly.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for your consideration. We know that it is the COVID time, and we have sanitized everything. Our plan is we are using the liner for every pedicure that coming in. So we have the liner, which is a bag that we cover on the chair. So every pedicure customer come in, they will get a brand new bag. They will get a dispo pedicure kit that we will do with the new shop. Everything will be brand new. The chair we come from the sanitizing station, from the wax room, from everything will be brand new. And it is, we do have we do have shield between customer, which they can sit next to each other, but not really next to each other. So we have a shield in between of each of the pedicure chair and the table.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Were there any other questions concerning this petition from the board, within the board's purview?
I just have a question for John Perlman. How many, and I go to Publix almost once every 12 days, and I don't remember.
Terrific. Thank you.
I've been waiting on it for a long time, and I voted for it to be in place.
Thank you.
How many other commercial bays are there? What's the number? I saw the sign for the Nelson line. I saw a sign for Arden's Garden. How many?
I think it's 7 on each side. If we start from the left, Arden's Garden has the first space. Then there are 2 spaces that are unclaimed, but we're expecting a proposal any day now for those. The next space, Suite 104, we have a proposal from the UPS store that I hope to finalize shortly. Right. Next to that is Direct Chef Elite. He's a private chef caterer. He's under construction. Next to that is Emily Nails. Then we have the Publix. On the right side of Publix, the first store is AT&T. That should start construction any day. The next 2 stores are Calmac Home Furnishings, a local entrepreneur. She's under construction now. Next to that is Chic Boutique, another local entrepreneur. Next to that is Freshest Salad Bar, yet another local entrepreneur. They are going to start construction shortly. I don't think they've furnished their plans yet to the city. And the final space is, I guess it's called MF Barbecue Bistro. That's Chef Tony Morrow, who has had the Pecan restaurant. Okay. So we're really down to 2 spaces at this time.
So then if we have if the nail salon is approved and it moves into that space, then you'll have a vacancy in the older shopping.
Right. That is correct. We're also, we're
over there.
talking to 3 or 4 other people that want to be in the shopping center.
Okay.
Yeah, and the more people learn about Publix and see that it's there and start supporting it, the more interest we're getting from other people. So there are a couple other people that are circling around that want to be opening in the space. So, I guess the simple answer is, if for some reason you were to say you don't want the nail salon to relocate, then he's going to stay where he is. And will continue to serve the community in a smaller space. He would like to have the larger space so he can better serve the community, give people more room to spread out, have all new equipment, everything else. And then we'll put somebody else into his current space. There's lots of entrepreneurs that are looking to do stuff. So we're comfortable we can lease that. So it's not going to be, it's a high visibility space. As you know, it's got windows on 2 sides. It's a really nice little spot.
Yeah.
So maybe food service or maybe some other type of retail.
All right. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for adding additional information to let us know who's coming.
Sure. No, it's my pleasure, and I hope hope we'll be busy with some openings. And unfortunately, we don't do ribbon cuttings anymore, but we'll do something for people opening up starting March. So hope to have some activity in March.
I'm concerned we're gonna need a park deck.
All right, thank you all.
No, I don't think so.
Thank you all. At this time, we'll take a motion to close public comment.
I make a motion that we close public comment.
There's a second.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Discussion is went forth. Can we get a roll call vote, staff?
Yes. Commissioner Brown?
I abstain.
This is to close public comment, right?
Oh, aye. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I told you it's 5 a.m.
Right, okay. Commissioner Hadley?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Walters?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly?
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir. We'll take a motion to recommend to deny or accept petition U20-003. Board?
This is Rodney. I make a motion to recommend approval for petition U20-003.
Is there a second?
I couldn't hear the motion. I'm sorry.
This is Rodney. I make a motion to approve recommendation for petition U20-003.
And second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, staff, can we get a roll call vote?
Yes, this is a roll call. Commissioner Brown?
I abstain.
Commissioner Hadley?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Walters? Commissioner Walters? I'll come back. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, say it again, please.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly?
Aye.
That vote passes.
Thank you, sir. That concludes our agenda for today. The next PC virtual meeting will begin at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Janai Walters.
Don't all second at once.
Everybody make a motion at once.
It's 6 and 8.
Been properly moved in second. Staff, can we get a roll call vote?
Last roll call. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Hadley?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Walters?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Floyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Weatherly?
Aye.
And that vote passes to adjourn.
Thank you all very, very much.
Good evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Wait.